Hi, it's Steve with Coin Stuff I Like, bringing you another Ike Stuff I Like video. This time on my collection of Ike Dollar strike throughs. Now, this is prompted by this coin that you see in the middle, which was a 1976 Ike that I just got back from NGC, graded out really well, and I'll show it to you a little bit more in the later part of this video. But I did want to go through some of the others in my collection that you can see here, and still others. This is a picture of my NGC box with my near complete clad Ike Dollar series, which are all struck through grease, except for maybe one. Um, and they're all struck through grease, and they're all clad except for the 71S silver business strike and the 71S business strike FS 401 peg leg, which are in my set strike through grease. The ones that are missing are the 73 P, no mint mark, 73D, 76P type 1. Now, these two, the 73s, I will never find. I doubt that I'll ever find because there are just not that many errors. They're clad circulation strikes, but they're not intended for circulation necessarily. They're mainly made for collectors in mint sets. So not many minted, more care taken minting them, so you don't see peg legs, you don't see strike throughs. It's a lot harder to find a 1973 error. Yeah, so those were missing from my set. I'll look, but I doubt that I'll ever find those. 76 P, no mint mark, type 1 Ike is I'll look for that one. I may find one of those. I may need a little help, but I may find them. There, if you know Ikes, that's the toughest of the 1976 to get in a high grade, but that's neither here nor there as far as the strike throughs. But such as it is, this is my set of near complete, mostly clad Ike. So I've got 71, 71D, 72 type 1, 71, 71D. That's an FEV. That's a 71D friendly eagle. 72 type 1, type 2, type 3, 72D, 74P and D. And then we get on with the 76D type 1, 76P type or no mint mark type 2, 76 type 2 Denver mint mark, 77, 77D, 78, 78D. So near complete. Let's take a look at a few of them. I'm not going to belabor this video showing you every single one, but the criteria that I use are, except for something like a 1972 type 2, I'll take any strike through grease there that I can find. The criteria is that it has to have missing devices. And so all of these have missing devices with the exception of a couple like the 72 type 2, which is a pretty hard to find coin and pretty expensive without any errors on it. So they'll all have missing devices, mostly peripheral motto or liberty or on the reverse stars or missing letters in United States, etc. So let's take a look at some of them, not all of them. They all have the missing letters, but let's take a look at a few samples. All right, so this one I had on the front, the first image was the 71 Philadelphia mint. Now, if you look here It's a strike through. Clearly, it's a verse struck through. They attributed it to NGC. Oh, that's the other thing about this collection is all NGC except for that one PCGS 1971 SFS 401 peg leg. That's the only non-NGC coin. This one here, I can't tell you whether this is struck through something other than grease. It looks a little bit deep to be grease, but I can't tell. Usually you can tell fabric material versus wire versus other element. But nevertheless, it's a really nice strike through with missing I in Liberty here and a nice little strike through. So this is the one that I'm not sure has struck through grease, but it's a nice strike through. I do have a 1971 that is struck through grease because I have duplicates of many of these, but they're in another box. So this is my number one box. I have this one in my number one box because of the depth of that strike through. It's not work on the coin. You can see the edge of the rim is intact. So this is struck through some object. Now, when you look for struck through grease, usually what you'll find is a little bit brighter, and you can tell it's very rough material, rough surface, and you lose the devices. So this is a good example of a struck through grease on the obverse of a 1971 S silver business strike coin. It graded 63, and you can see there's a grease blob here that filled the I, N, and T R, a part of the U, part of the G and the O, and it leaves you with this sort of, when you wobble it in the hand, it's sort of a shiny surface. It's very non-smooth, I'll say. So there's a 71S, a good example of what strike-through grease looks like. This is one that a friend of mine and expert dealer of Ike coins, Troy Weaver, sent to me, and it's a friendly eagle. Now, they didn't put it on the label despite me asking for it, but such as dealing with NGC. This is a friendly eagle. You can tell the crater lines come down past the tip, the upper tip of the L, as a more circular gulf here for the Earth. There's a lot of other features here. This is a friendly eagle. Trust me on this one. But they did pick up that it is a struck through obverse. I made a mistake. Now, I did ask for friendly eagle attribution, but I made a mistake. When you send in a coin that looks like this and all you want is a struck through in here, don't ask them to grade it, just ask for genuine. And so it would have come back mint error genuine or just mint error without a grade, and it would have said obverse struck through. So in any case, this one you can see as we look up a little bit closer, it's missing the L and I and the I and T. So there was a grease blob here that essentially obliterated back when it was uncirculated. This is a circulated example, but nevertheless, friendly eagles are not easy to find. And this one is, thank you, Troy, for sending this. This sort of completes out my collection with a really nice loss of devices there. This one here is one of the ones that does not have missing devices. This is a 72 Type 2, very hard to find. It's sort of like the key date and type for the Ikes of the clad series at least. And this is a Type 2 reverse. You can see Incus Islands here for the Earth. It has a little dell up in here. This is characteristic of a Type 2 Earth. So this is a Type 2, 1972, no mint mark, Philadelphia. A pretty good coin in 63. And you can see this one has a struck through grease right here. So I'll take it. I'll put it in my collection. It'd be nice if that was here and took out that star, but it is here, and nevertheless, it's a struck through grease. And given how hard it is to find 72 Type 2s to begin with, I'm happy to have that in the collection. Now we get into some of the ones that really have nice strike through grease, like the 72D. You can see the characteristic struck through grease appearance, and it took out all the most of the motto except for OD and WE and T. All right, so nice, distinct, and it also took out part of the date the 1 and the 9. So nice MS62, 1972D struck through grease. 74. Now this one here, if you notice, no grade. It wasn't requested to have a grade, and this is something that's a mistake I made on that Friendly Eagle. Just ask for genuine. When you send in a coin that's not going to grade well, and all you want is really that struck through component to it. This one here is an example of that. Doesn't come back with a grade. It's genuine. It's in a genuine holder, but it does have the obverse and reverse struck through. Here's the obverse with the struck through grease taking out the L. And part of the 7 here, you can sort of see grease remnants throughout the obverse and on the reverse as well. So you'll see here we're missing stars. We're missing part of the letters in D, S, T, and A because of the grease strike through, and even part of the tail here. So another really nice obverse and reverse struck through grease, 74D. I'm going to jump ahead to 76. This one here is a Type 1 D, 1976 D Type 1. Remember, 1976 P, no mint mark, Type 1 is the one that's missing from the set. But this is a nice one because this is incorrect terminology at this point in time. They're no longer called sintered planchet. It's called improperly annealed planchet. That's what this is. You can see a nice chocolate brown. And see Griller, if you're watching, no, this is not chocolate like the chocolate coins. No, it's improperly annealed, giving it a chocolate color appearance. In any case, here we go. Both the obverse and reverse struck through. I'm not going to give you a close-up, but you can see LI, part of B, part of the date, struck through. Same thing on the reverse. A lot missing in terms of devices, as both the obverse and reverse are struck through on this improperly annealed planchet, 1976D Type 1. This is the one I just got back from NGC. I was really happy with the grade. It's the highest graded struck through grease coin in my collection, 66, 1976D Type 2. Type 2, remember, you can tell just by looking at the serifs on the T's are sort of, they're angled as opposed to, let's see how these are blocked. They're bigger, thicker letters and more blocked at the T. That's a Type 1. Also, Type 1 is a peg leg. Type 2 obverse does not have a peg leg R and has these angled serifs on the T's and a little bit more fine lettering on the reverse. That aside, very nice strike through grease. You can sort of see that typical grease appearance, a very geometric edges, and took out the U and part of the N and united, and then also nice strike through in the field. So very happy with that one. Nice grade, and it's a nice struck through grease coin. 77D, another, you can tell this is struck through grease, nice and shiny, rough surface, and geometric. This one took out the L in Liberty, part of the I, and then down here R, and getting almost part of the one. So a nice one there, and this 78. I'm not showing you every one. I did have a 77, 77D, 78, 78D. This 78 is a 65, and on the reverse, it's struck through down here. So you're missing the A, part of the R, and part of the tail, and some of the moon characteristics here as well. So there you have it. Near complete set of clad Ikes struck through grease. And thank you for allowing me to share that with you, as well as this newest one joining the collection. I have had another 76D Type 2 struck through, but this one is nicer and it has a higher grade. So thank you for allowing me to share the collection with you. And remember, take a look, if you're looking through some Ikes, look for the struck through remnants with missing devices. Those are, they'll carry a little bit of a premium. It's not super pricey like a major off-center error Ike, but a little bit of a premium. So, again, thank you for watching. Remember, buy stuff you like, but be smart about what you buy. We'll catch you next time.